construction for the Tonic Terrarium gift box die set. I'm going to show a couple of variations along the way as well, and I'm actually making one that is a proper finished one rather than just showing you the basic construction, but I'll skip out all the steps in between so I don't confuse you with the construction of it, you know, because I'm decorating it as well. But so to create the basic construction of the terrarium box as it's supposed to be made, you need 2 of these ones, you need 1 of this enormous one, and you need 3 of these ones. So this makes the generic terrarium box which is depicted on the front of the packaging. If you wanted to make this into a chocolate orange holder, which is what I'm actually going to show you, and if you wanted it to be a chocolate orange holder that looks like this, which I'm making a silver version of, where the this part is recessed down into the bottom of the box, then you will also need 2 pieces that look like this. So you need a set of hexagon and circle dies. So this hexagon measures, I'll do it in centimetres, measures just over 7.5 centimetres, or just over 8.5, no, nearly 9 centimetres from point to point. One roughly that size. This is going to be the base inside the box. It doesn't matter if it's not exactly that size, because we're going to use foam tape to raise it up a bit so it sort of sits at about 1 centimetre up from the bottom of the box inside. And then this piece that you need is a hexagon that is 10 centimetres, or from point to point it's about 11.5 centimetres, and you want to use a 7 centimetre diameter circle to cut out this space, which is where the chocolate orange will sit inside. So that's what you need if you want to make a chocolate orange. So you need the basic things that I just said, and then to make a chocolate orange holder that looks like this, with this mechanism inside for it to sit in, you need what I just said. But if you wanted a chocolate orange holder that looks like this, then you will need this combination. This hexagon is, so you want to find a hexagon that is the same size as the base of the box, just so you can make an extra piece to put inside there just to finish it off. You don't need to have that though. And then this hexagon needs to be from across to cross, it's just over 8.5 centimetres, and from point to point it's 10 centimetres. And so this, you're going to create score lines around it, so it needs to be just a smidgen bigger than the actual top of the box, and that's how you create that. And the circle hole to cut is 6 centimetres. So you want a 6 centimetre diameter circle, and then a hexagon that's slightly bigger than the top of the assembled box and one of the base. And that creates the chocolate orange holder that looks like that, where you've got nothing supporting the bottom of the chocolate orange. It's sort of floating that proud out of the box. So in this video I'm going to show you the basic construction but with the added chocolate orange holder, but if you don't want that you just don't put it in and you follow the same instructions. I'm also thought I would just quickly show, if you don't want to die cut all of the pretty panels for the sides of the boxes like this, because that can take some time and you may be wanting to make one reasonably quickly, or you're not in the mood for a lot of die cutting, you can use embossing folders to pattern your pieces, but I thought I would show you how you can get them to cover the whole thing. Like for this one I'm using, I think this is like a A2 sized one, and obviously the whole thing doesn't fit in that. If you use a 6x6 one it's pretty much perfect, but if you have smaller ones but you still want to use them, this is how you can get the perfect embossing on them. So I'm not sure if this is the suggested method for using these folders, but because I'm using the tangerine and this is a Sizzix folder, I find that it works, because it's one of these really, really thick ones, it works just running it through on your orange cutting mat. So, first of all, we want to line up, so we've got the first triangle, we want to line up that with the side of where the folder ends. So if we line that up against that score line, then this part's sticking out, but that, well, actually, if we move it down a little bit, it's all within it then. So we want to, I'll zoom out a bit. So we want to emboss it like that first, and run that through. Then, when we've got that half embossed, we want to line this score line up with this side of the embossing folder, and whoops, and then run that one through like that. And that covers the entire piece then. So I just thought I would give you that tip as well for how to get an embossing folder to cover the whole section. I want this to be a finished box in the end, rather than just putting together one to show you the construction. I'm going to now add my mousses and stuff to it. There will be an Arty Potential video showing you the full process behind this one, so you can watch that to find out exactly how I do it. But just to make this video a bit more concise and more of just the construction, I'm going to go ahead and do this off camera, so I'll be back in 1 second. So I've got my embellishment on all of my pieces now. All I did was add some grey matter Nouveau expanding mousse just with my finger all over it, and then I did do a little bit of stenciling and puffed up that as well. I did want to say too, you can get this entire box out of 2 sheets of A4, even if you're making the chocolate orange insert too. All of this was 2 pieces, so it's probably like more like 1.5 pieces if you don't do the chocolate orange holder as well. So it's a really like economical box, and you get a really sturdy result at the end as well. So we've got all of our pieces. I'll leave these out of the way just for now. So this is everything we need, and now we need to put the tape on. So you can use 6mm red liner tape, but these ones, this one down the side of the cone and the small ones on the base are quite narrow, so I'm using 3mm tape, and you want to use red line tape because it's nice and strong. I got this on Amazon, so I'll try and remember to link it down below. It was really, really reasonable. It had like 50 meters on it, so you know it's going to last for a lot of boxes. So you want to run the tape down the glue tabs on both of the half cone pieces, and then you want to add it to the bottom parts of each of the 3 sections here, as well as the little side tabs, because that's what holds all 3 of them together to create the hexagonal piece. I'll try and do this quickly for you so that it doesn't take up too much of your time. You can use wet glue for these as well. It just depends what you prefer really, but I don't mind that it grabs really quickly. I prefer that rather than having to sit there and hold it for a while, because you know, sometimes it shifts and then it's not in the right place and then it just gets annoying. And then on this one you want to just add your tape to this little section. I'll show you these up close in a second. Okay, so that's all our tape. So we've added it just, oh you can see it quite well actually because it's red tape, just onto those little tabs on this one, on these 3 places on each 3 of these, and on that long side on the cone as well. So I'll show you the cone first. It's really simple to assemble. You just want to pull the tape off one, if I zoom in a tinsy bit, line them up corner to corner down here, hold that in place, and then go along the line and line them up and then press it down firmly. Then you want to go in and reinforce all the score lines. You might think you would lose these because you've embossed it all, but actually they stayed pretty well. I didn't find that I couldn't work out where the score lines were after embossing, so yeah, and I don't think it interferes too much. It might be a different matter if you were die cutting straight into these side panels. You might want to go down all the score lines with your scoreboard just to double check that they were all in the right places and everything. And then you want to score the one where the glue tab is as well. So you've now got your all your fold lines reinforced on this, and because this is six-sided, you can fold it in half to get the perfect alignment for putting this together. So if we fold that one down, take that tape off, line it up at the top of the cone this time, just pushing the pieces together so they line up nicely, and then press, and voila! Really, really easy to put the cone together. You probably noticed some of my bits of expanding mousse just popped off, but that does happen if you go round the corner. I quite like the look of the going round the corner bit, but it does occasionally pop off when you do that. But anyway, that is our top cone piece. Then, to assemble the bottom of the box, it's this piece, you want to reinforce all of these score lines. So all the ones that are around the bottom hexagon and all of these glue tab ones as well. I like to go around and do all of these first, like this. Then the way I like to do it, you might find a slightly different way that you prefer to do it. You might not want to take all the glue tabs off at once. I do because it's easier. So, and then unfold all of them, lay it down flat, then I pick off the red liner tape for all of the pieces of tape. And then we just simply go around, you put the glue tab behind that panel, make sure the top pieces are lining up nicely, and then just press it into place. So it's really, really easy. Just keep going around for all 6 of them. And there we have it. So that's the bottom of our box. Now, if you're just doing the normal one, just ignore this next bit I'm telling you. So the normal one, you can just do that. If you want to do the chocolate orange, oh gosh, I'm flinging stuff everywhere. If you want to do the chocolate orange holder that looks like this, you can put the hexagon piece that's exactly the same size just to make the bottom look pretty if you want to. You don't have to. And if you want to make the chocolate orange box that I'm showing you how to make now, I'll show you in this one where it is. We're going to put that piece in down there. And we're going to use foam tape to do that, so it's raised up a bit inside the box so the chocolate orange doesn't sit so far down. Okay, so to do that, I'm using this foam tape, anything that's about 1 millimetre thick really, and to begin with I folded it in half. This is how I did my original one, so I'm just going to show you exactly the same way. I folded it in half and got about, how many centimetres is that? That's about 11 centimetres folded in half, right? Then I took, this is maybe 8 centimetres, and I made it triple thickness. So just sticking them all on top of each other. You can use whatever foam tape or foam pads you've got, it doesn't have to be anything special. And then I just chopped a long piece, this is the double one that I just did. I'm going to put one piece like that, and then I think we'll put a thicker piece. You're just basically trying to fill up the base a bit so that the chocolate orange has got somewhere to be supported by. So it just so happened this was how I did it in the beginning, so I thought I'd just show you this way. So that's double thickness down. And then we're going to use the triple thickness one, and for this I cut the long strip again. I put it the other way in the bottom, and then I just did a supporting piece on either side as well. We just want something to raise the bottom up. You could, I don't know, you could put scraps of card or something in there if you wanted to. You don't have to use foam tape. And then you just take this piece that we have coloured as well and just stick that in. It just makes it look pretty through the hole, and it just raises the bottom up slightly. I mean, looking from the side, the bottom's now here rather than at the bottom. So that's that. Then we need the next part, which is this bit here. So for this, we want to take off this tape and place them all together. So we have all three pieces in one go. And all you do for this is you're just lining up with the score line to get them to be in the right place. Then we want to go round and fold all of the 6 sections like so. And we want to fold that glue tab that's there, and we want to fold these ones in as well so that they're pre-folded. It's easier to do it at this stage. Okay, so once we've got everything pre-folded, we then want to stick this together to create our hexagon section. So we're just going to take the tape off of that, and then you literally just line up the score line. There we go. So that's that. So that's now our top piece here. If you're making the normal box, this will just stick straight onto here just as it is. And obviously I will show you that in a second, but for the people who want to make the chocolate orange holder, you're now going to move on to this piece. And you need a scoreboard and a scoring tool. And you just want to line up the edge of the hexagon with your scoreboard and score at 5mm or ½ centimetre. Just the same, whoops, that was in the wrong place. Just the same whoa, I'm making a mess of this. All the way around the edge. Just one little score line all the way around the edge. This is what we're going to use to glue it inside so that it stays there nice and securely. And if you were going to make the other version, where it's higher up, you're going to do exactly the same thing, but with your smaller hexagon size. So it is exactly the same process, but you're just using a smaller hexagon for the other one. Then I want to reinforce the score lines we just made. Then you will notice on each of these corners, you can just about see it, where the fold lines have intersected, you've got a little diamond. So now you want to chop out all those little diamonds. This just makes it much neater and easier to glue it all in a second. Okay, so we've now got this piece, so we've got those little glue tabs all the way around the edge that are 5mm in from the edge of our die cut. Then we want to add our tape to these. Again, I'm using that 3mm one because it fits perfectly on a 5mm tab with a little bit of space around it. And for this, I am going to use wet glue as well, because we're going to place this up inside the other piece we just made. I want to be able to manoeuvre it, like if it does start to stick in the wrong place. So I'm going to peel off the backing for all of these pieces. And then use some glue and add that to the glue tabs as well. just on top of the tape. This just helps you still be able to move it around because this glue's wet before the red liner tape catches, if that makes any sense. I think it does. Okay, that's that. Then we want to carefully sort of fold these tabs just in backwards a little bit, just to make it easier to get this inside. So just carefully fold them backwards so it looks more like the smaller hexagon shape now. Then you want to take this piece that we just did and then turn this upside down and put it inside. And then you're just going to push that up as far as it goes, because it will stop at a certain point when the sloping hexagon becomes the same size as the smaller hexagon we just made from doing the score lines. And then you just push it into place. And there you have, it's just stuck in there. And there you've got that little recess that kind of makes it look even more steampunky and mechanically. But if you wanted this version, because for this one you would use a smaller hexagon, it would push right up to the top of the box and then just stick on, but it's exactly the same process. Then finally, if you're making the simple box, you need to listen to this part again. Finally, we want to get this inside to finish off the bottom of the box. So I like to do it 3 glue tabs at a time. So I'm going to take off the tape on 3 of them. You might want to do it only 2 at a time if this is the first time you've made it or something. But I've done it 3 at a time. And then so you just want to place this on, line up that first one where you've already taken, so the first one that you've taken the tape off of, and then just press it in place. Once it's in the right place, you just press it in place, and then move on to the next one you've already taken the tape off of, and the third one, and then just press them into place, and then just remove the backing off of these ones. If you wonder why I use scissors, it's because I bite my nails, so I can't pick the backing off, and also this stuff's really staticky, but if you pick it off with scissors it doesn't really stick to you too much. And these ones are great for it, the little mini snips too. So then we just want to stick the last 3 on. All I'm doing is lining it up and then pushing from the inside to get the tab to stick to the other part of the box. And there we have it. There's the bottom of our box completely finished. We did the top earlier, and that's perfect like that too, and it fits on absolutely perfectly. And then all you've got to do now is decorate it, and I'm not going to show you the decoration, but yeah, I won't show you the actual decorating, but I'll probably put a photo of it at the end. And anyway, I'm going to make it look exactly like this one. It's just a silver version. But if you're curious about how I got the chains to work inside, I've already die cut them. And the great thing about using the media dies to cut all of the cogs and chains and things, because they're designed to cut thicker materials, you can cut multiples at once. So for this design I needed 3 chains because I'm using 2 inside and I'm using 1 on the outside to hold the tag onto. You can cut all 3 of them at once, so that's really helpful too. And so to do the inside piece and get the chains to look like this, they do tuck under as well. They just tuck in so it looks like it's properly being held in place. I just used some glue, and then I just took the last chain piece and just stuck it just there, and then the last chain section of another piece and stuck it just there. And then that's as simple as it is. And then once the chocolate orange is in, once the glue has dried and you put the chocolate orange in, those can just bow upwards and tuck under the other side, and that's how you can keep it inside. So that is how to make the basic construction of the terrarium box, plus showing you how you can make it into a chocolate orange holder, and 2 different designs of that. I also just wanted to mention, if you were watching the shows on her channel, you probably saw Jodie's wine bottle holder that she did. So to create this, you are going to need 1 of the big bottom pieces, 2 of the cone piece, just like for a regular box, but the smaller pieces, this one, that we used 3 for the original size box, but to create this one you need 21 of these. And then, so this is the basic part of the normal box, but when you get onto this piece, this is then this piece rather than a bottom piece, and you're just putting it up the other way. And to get this to join together, I was just cutting, have I got another scrap of card? So I was just cutting a piece of card like this, about this wide, and then I was holding this up against one of these pieces, because we know it's going to be this side that the hinge is going to be for. So then I was cutting a straight edge against there, holding that up, and then cutting a straight edge against there, so it's roughly the same length. Then I was taking a piece of double-sided tape, just like that, and then folding this in half. I was using a scoreboard, but I've got too much stuff on my desk to bring it back up again. So I was folding it like that, and so then this piece, you're then going to have one of these, well, it's one of those upways, and it's just holding it on then. I think that makes sense. I don't know. I'm not very good at explaining stuff. But so say this is the bottom of this box, and we want to put the next level on. If we were making the tall red one, it would be, you'd be using this piece, but you'd be using this side of the box. So you'd have your next pieces like this, and you'd be using that to secure it. This is, I did film this one, so it's going to be an arty potential video. I know there's no talking in them and it's just sped up, but you will be able to see the process, especially because I have to repeat that 3 times to get all of the height to it. So yeah, hopefully that will be up relatively soon as well. So I hope you enjoyed this, well, this construction of the box, showing you the regular terrarium box, and then how to turn it into a chocolate orange holder as well, and also how to convert it into a really tall version too. So thank you for watching, and if you find this useful, can you let me know below, because I'm hoping to do this for a lot of the other Tonic die sets, but I want to make sure that they're definitely useful before I start spending hours making loads of videos. So thank you for watching, bye!